Yeah, one time I had a restaurant, and at this restaurant we had bars, 2 bars, and never had a bar before. And I didn't realize how much drugs and bad things happen in bars. So I'm not into that kind of stuff. And so I thought, well, if people are going to come to my place, I want them to feel comfortable and good. So you can imagine the shock on everybody when I said, well, we're not going to have no drugs. We don't want no drunks. We just want people to come in here, have fun, dance, eat, smoke. You can smoke inside. You can really enjoy yourself. But nobody's going to hurt anybody, except for me. I might hurt people. But other than that, it's going to stop right there. And so what would happen, it's not just some of the weird stuff that would happen. Okay, imagine you break up with your girlfriend, and then now your girlfriend, if somebody else asks her out and takes her to my place to eat. Okay, so here you are. It's going to be the jealous type and get mad and have a temper and all that stuff. Well, you could think you're going to run her down when she's at my place and you're going to harass her. But the thing is, we didn't do that kind of stuff. And I didn't allow that stuff to happen. So there's been times when somebody would be parked outside, and I'm thinking, well, what do you? And at first, I didn't understand a lot of this stuff. So I saw somebody be parked outside, and then one time, a couple was leaving, and as they were leaving, then that's when this guy got out of his car and started approaching them. I did go outside in the parking lot. I patrolled the parking lot. I was my own bouncer, so I went out in the parking lot. And I saw this couple leaving, and then this guy gets out of the car. And then I thought, oh, well, this can't be good. And then he approached them and started having some words and stuff. And so I ended up chasing him away. That was one. And then another time, the guy was parked across the street. So I thought, well, I'm not letting anybody park on my place, but, how do you stop them parking across the street? So they parked across the street. And then same thing. Man and woman left. They got in their car, and right when they were getting in their car, the guy across the street pulled up and got behind them so they couldn't get out. Then he got out of his car, and the same thing. We had some trouble. So I got that taken care of. So then I ended up saying, well, nobody can park across the street. It wasn't even my property, but I'm over here telling people they can't park there. So that was fun. We had a lot of fun times doing that. One time, I had a guy. He was acting goofy inside, and so then we told him no more until you calm down and stuff. No cussing. We didn't allow cussing. And he kept cussing. He wouldn't stop. So then we said, okay. So he went to the bathroom, and when he went to the bathroom, we had a freezer back there. And so he went to the bathroom, and I saw him go to the bathroom, and then I went back in there, and then after he went to the bathroom, he left. And so then I went around the outside and was watching him on the outside. He went to his truck and he put something in the back of his truck, and then he went back inside. So I went over into the truck. It was a piece of meat. He took a piece of my meat out of the freezer and he put it in his truck. And so I thought, well, this isn't good. So I grabbed my meat, went back in, put it in the freezer, came through the bathroom, coming back out, and he was on the bar side. And they were, he had like 6 or 8 friends, and they were all having fun and everything. And so, and they saw me coming across the dance floor, and I was huffing and puffing. I mean, you could tell somebody was getting ready to get thrown out. And he had his back to me. And so I snatched him up off the bar stool, and then, we started going out the door, and, I said it when we were going out, why he's being thrown out. And I was calling him lots of names, and one of the names was he was a thief. He steals things. And boy, his friends, they all got all upset. Boy, they were, but nobody tried to, they tried to get in our way. We just kind of pushed our way right on through and went on out. So that was pretty funny. And, he kept, every time they try to use force on me, he'd tell them to stay away. And then we just went on outside. And after we got outside, I let him go. And then, boy, all of his friends, they were ready to kick my ass. I mean, it was ugly. And he kept saying, no, just leave them alone, and that's it, you know. But boy, they were bound and determined they were going to hurt me. And they kept mouthing and mouthing. And so finally I said, well, okay, so I'm going to put an end to this. And so then I went over and I took my jacket off. I laid it on the hood of a truck there. When I took my jacket off, you could see I was carrying 2 guns, one underneath each arm. So I pulled one gun, set it up, took the other gun, put it over there, and then behind me I had 2 more guns. So then I pulled out one gun, then I took the other gun, I pulled it out, and I set it there. Then I started pulling out knives, and then I pull out one knife, and then pull out another knife. You know, I mean, it was funny, and these guys were all, and it was funny. They're all about half my age, all of them nice, you know, young, strong bucks, you know. And so I put all this stuff out, and then I walked out in the street, and I stood there in the street. I didn't say nothing. I just stood right there, and I waited. And now, in my mind, I wasn't worried about my guns, because by the time all this commotion was going on, a lot of people in the restaurant came out to, you know, they wanted to watch me beat the hell out of the guy out in the parking lot. And so, they were all out there, and in my mind, they weren't going to let these guys come and grab my guns. And I wasn't going to fight them with guns. I mean, because if I drop a gun, now we brought a gun into the action, somebody's going to get hurt. So I wasn't going to bring any guns in. But by me doing all that, setting all my guns out there, and then going out there and standing out there, those guys, they didn't know what to think of me. And it was really funny. But then after that, everybody knew. Everybody had an idea that I was carrying a gun. But they didn't really realize I carried that many guns. But we had a lot of drug dealing and stuff going out in the parking lot, and and I'd go out there, and there'd be anywhere from 2 to 6 cars out there, and you know, I don't know, it's dark, I don't know how many people are there, so I've got to be ready for anything. So I was usually pretty well armed when I did this stuff. But like I say, I don't ever get myself into something unless I got a plan on how I'm going to get out of it. And that's what I try to teach people. You always have a plan. And as you're planning, you're learning this stuff, it gets easier because you use the same plan. You know, after you figure out the different plans, you'll use the same plan all the time. So anyway, it's something, food for thought.